Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is for you, I'm Cyclone. It's time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic, and we're going to do the first ever scenario by Rose and Gareth, otherwise known as rosgar or rosgar, or however they want to say their name. I actually don't know how they try to pronounce their names together like that, but I consider it rosgar, and until I'm told otherwise, I'm going to assume that's true, because I haven't really asked them. But in any case, this is the first scenario I'm doing of theirs. I have several other of their career scenarios installed, and I have downloaded pretty much their entire Snacktime collection and other scenarios as well. I just have to start playing them, is basically what it comes down to. They have a lot of interesting requirements in some cases, and they are trying to modernize a lot of their older scenarios to not use stock, like the Iron Horsehouse stock. I'm looking to try to get some of their stuff on here as I see things that have trains that I have played with and can use. And this is an example of that. Like Class 170 is the player train in this Snacktime career scenario. And there weren't a lot of career scenarios on this route, so you know what? We'll just do this extra one just for fun. Now, and I do want to come back to this route because you're going to notice that the Class 66 diesel locomotive has scenarios here. I think these are the ones that actually came with the Freightliner DLC. I believe these actually came with it, and yeah, they are official career scenarios. And I'll talk about the scoring later, because as you see, I didn't get a perfect score on any of them. But at the same time, I also lost the videos for these because they were among the ones that were on my hard drive when it went corrupt, and as a result, those videos were lost. I also have to get the Class 158 for you as well, because I have those scenarios done and perfect scores in those cases, but I have to redo them for you. So I want to do that because I originally did those because I wanted to get the Class 158 by AP installed and start playing with it. And then obviously I had my computer crash, so it kind of threw me behind and I haven't gotten back to doing them yet. So I have to do those too. So the Class 158 by AP, the Class 66 by AP, they are going to be showing up at some point. Right now the default one is the one that I have installed. But you'll be seeing the other version as well. And but today we're going to do this one. I'm going to leave the 170 vanilla for this scenario because I'm going to eventually come back and use the AP one. I did find out the AP one, I believe, does not install on top of the default 170, which the 66, it does. The 66 installs on top of the original 66. The reason is there's no AP file, so you have to replace that one to use it, because it's designed to use the same file location as the original one, so basically you're going to get a much improved train on that one. I will eventually show you that on at least one of the scenarios. Maybe I'll just do it on something else later because there's a lot of 66 stuff. I can actually play the 66 scenarios that come with the route. Some of them I actually have the stuff for, so I might actually do that instead. But one of them is actually on the West Coast Main Line North, I know. But we'll talk about that later. That's another discussion. Let's look at the Edinburgh Glasgow. And the reason I brought up the 66 is because these scenarios are going to take you to the northern part of the route, which is around the Falkirk, Grahamstown, and the Larbert area to do some shunting work as well with the 66. So that's why I want to bring that up, because I'm going to be showing you those at some point to get you to the northern part of the Edinburgh-Glasgow route. And to the, I forget the name of the other area that goes off there, but there's another area off there as well that is a shunting area. So you do eventually connect back to the main Edinburgh-Glasgow route with them as well. But it's our chance to actually do some work north of the route and look at the stuff up there. I'll talk about those at a later time. But for today, we're going to go ahead and do the Snacktime career number 5. I wasted too much time talking about the 66. Let's get to what we came for. It is a short one, so let's go ahead and get to work on his Glasgow Queen Street service. Open your doors and get ready for a 6:48 departure. Okay, roger. So that train is pulling off, apparently. We're going to open our doors. That train is now stopping and is opening its own doors. Okay, let's take a look, guys. It pulled forward from the terminus and opened its doors. Okay, I don't know. Interesting. I don't know why the train didn't just start at its actual doors open position, but this is how it was set up. So we'll just assume that that's oddly normal. So I'm noticing that we start with 100 points on our timetable here, so that's very peculiar. I don't know why we start with 100 points there. Very strange. Very, very strange. You would think normally you would get 200 per stop, but this is what we get. So let's watch this train take off properly, and I'm just going to stay with you as we pull up here. And there we go. Let's watch that train head off into Queen Street Tunnel right up here. Whee! let's hide that. I see another train coming in the distance as well, which we're going to see better as we come in. So if you want to know who that train is, by the way, that's the Glasgow to Edinburgh leaving, the 428. And over on the other side, once this train gets further ahead, we're going to see the other board pop in the distance here. The 406 Edinburgh to Glasgow, the 1070406, is coming back towards us. Let's get in our own train and get ourselves ready to go here. We need our headlights on, so that's all set to go. And our departure time is at 6:47, so we're going to leave in about a minute as well. You can see we have an interesting stop on here today. We're going to make our way to Croy as per normal. Thank you for the announcement. And once we get to Croy, it's 7:06 is when we're going to be leaving Croy apparently and head towards Larbert. So we got a nice long drive to Larbert. So we're going to go 11 miles to Croy, another 10 to Larbert. So there you go. That's our itinerary for the day, and that is very, very interesting. This will be our first time to anywhere on the north side of the route. I was making a comment about wanting to go to the class, what was that pop-up? To the class 66 so I could show you some stuff in the northern part of the route when I was talking to you in the menu. But apparently this there is going to take us to part of that area already. So I'm just going to show you very quickly on the map where that is. Croy is where we normally expect to see it, but we're going to head up to the branch split off here at Greenhill. So way up, actually that's not Greenhill. This is Greenhill. And we're going to head up past the branch that heads towards Camelon here and Falkirk Grahamston, which eventually merges back with the route, or goes up to Grangemouth, which is up here. So that's all stuff I still need to show you. But we're going to get to see Larbert today. The part to Stirling is actually unsceneried. So there's actually nothing special up there. Someone, I think Derek Siddle, I think is who it is, at DP Simulation. I think that's who runs it. And he has a Stirling extension with some additional scenery, but the platform at Stirling is kind of like a basic thing, so you're not going to see anything special at Stirling. But someone is working on Network Scott East route, I believe, that I think is going to include that section. So there may be some additional better station assets in that version of the route. So here's a person who is suddenly randomly walking from that end of the platform. I don't know what he was doing over there. But we're going to make our way out. We're leaving Glasgow Queen Street, or just Queen Street as it shows up on the HUD. We're going to make our way to our first stop at Bishopbriggs. I'm going to idle my throttle for just a moment here as we pass the signals here. By the way, the signals do have their proper number codes associated with them. It's not like on the Great Western Main Line, GWML, the original 001 route that came with North Somerset Railway, or no, Somerset and Dorset, I should say, as number 2 and East Coast Main Line as number 3. They originally came with Railworks, as did the Coombe Pass. We're at 30 now, so we can speed up before we get into this uphill. So it's not like on Great Western Main Line where, and I think East Coast Main Line does the same thing, where all the signal numbers are 444. And as a result, you're not going to know what signal you're passing. Like, it's just randomly assigned. And I guess people very early in the game started demanding better information, better things like that. Now, at the same time, this is also a Thomson Interactive route. This was created by Thomson Interactive before Rivet Games branched off from them. So this was not a DTG route. This was a Thomson route. The route code starts with FFC, I believe. So this is a route that Dovetail Games did not produce themselves, and perhaps this is one. I think this is one of those first cases where someone made the effort to actually assign the proper signal boards and develop all the proper signal boards, the numbers and the letter codes and such for each signal along the route to attach it to each signal. So when you're looking at a route project like this and you're seeing a signal with a board on it, you have to imagine all the work that went into just that element of the route. And I'm being completely serious when I say that. You've got possibly 100 signals along the route, and from end to end, and that doesn't count all the different branches, but from end to end you possibly have like 50 to 100 signals, even just going in one direction. And Every single one has to have the proper number board associated with it. The number board has to be created for each signal, so it's a different art piece for each signal. All the work that goes into these, even in 2010, you have to appreciate the effort that went into getting this set up. Even though it's not the best route by today's standards by far, and has been much improved by other people over the years, this is the original Edinburgh to Glasgow route. The effort that went into getting at least that kind of detail in there kind of made this one of the better routes of its time. So this is still a very popular area because it is the main link between the two Glasgow arteries. It's the main Glasgow artery, basically. There's also a route through Bathgate that has not been represented in the game yet. That also goes through Airdrie. It actually goes off at on the North Clyde line. So that route is not been represented beyond the small part we have in the suburban Glasgow route. I know I saw a freeware route once on the workshop very early in my time here, and I luckily have it. Our speed is starting to really go up, so I'm going to watch myself here. So I luckily have the old version of the suburban Glasgow route as it was in the workshop, but I did buy it anyway before I ever played the workshop one. I haven't even played the workshop one yet. I just have it sitting on my hard drive, thankfully. Managed to back that up, so I luckily had it when my hard drive crashed. But and it has its own set of scenarios as well that are on UK train sims. So yeah, I'm going to get to those and try and show you the rare Cumbernauld scenario that appears on that route as well. But I have to show you that when I get to West Coast Main Line North. I really do. But in any case, yeah, this is the only route between Edinburgh and Glasgow that's currently represented. I think there are 3 different routes you can take. Bathgate is another one. I don't know what the third one is offhand. Let's not speed, preferably. Here we go. Once you get out of the Glasgow area, things really get urban because you're going to have a lot of long-distance stops between stations. Look at the West Highland Line South. You're going to see what I mean. I think that by itself is about a 2-hour drive, and then the other West Highland Line, when you consider all the time you have to stop at stations to radio into people, which is a very rare thing that's set up on that route. Yeah, you spend a lot of time driving those routes. So here comes Bishopbriggs up ahead. We're going to go ahead and make our stop there. The timings look like they're going to be a little bit tight today, so we might be pushing our stops a little bit more into these stations. I have about a minute to make this stop, and I'm going to actually get ready to start braking about now, I think. If you're still going 70 or 80 by the time you're 3/10 of a mile from the platform, you're going to have a hard time stopping. So you need to get your speed down. Imagine we weren't up there, but I'm just saying, as a rule of thumb. 30 can even be too fast for some of these platforms. But I do it because I can put heavy brakes on, just like that. I heard that train next to us opening its doors. I wanted to go a little further. Can I get up there? I want to get up there a little bit. That's the 3-car stop up there. So I am early. I'm going to go ahead and pull up to the 3-car stop here. So let's do that. My passengers are probably a little confused right now. All right. Here we are. Let's go ahead and open the doors, and we have arrived at Bishopbriggs, platform number 1. And the other train's getting ready to leave, so let's take a look at it. Leaving Bishopbriggs platform 1, our next stop is Lenzie, also platform 1, which is normal. We are leaving at a 100 mile per hour speed limit. As we get ourselves going here, I just want to take a quick mention. If you saw my video yesterday, I mentioned the little weird 24-hour preview stream they were doing for the big announcement that took place yesterday. And it's actually kind of funny because I was talking about wanting to see route connected to the Cahoon Pass as a Train Sim Classic route as one of my ideas. And obviously I had no way to know this was going to be announced, but they're actually putting a new Cahoon Pass in Train Sim World 3. Now I'm a little puzzled by that because that's kind of more of a freight route than it is anything else. So I'm actually curious how that will go down, especially in a game that costs more than 50 bucks Canadian, which is a lot of money, especially when you're on limited income. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to having to pay that kind of price. I might have to wait to pick that up. I wanted to show that off to you. Maybe I'll get a chance to do that, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I might have to wait and show it to you later. But we're also going to get an upgraded Southeastern High-Speed route, which is one of the routes I was actually debating showing you in Train Sim World. So I might wait to show that off now, because I still have a Train Sim Classic one to show off anyway. And I don't know what the German route is, but I can tell you this. The UK route is going to have Ashford on it. Ashford. That has been demanded for some time in the Train Sim World, in the Train Sim Classic community. And it's going to Train Sim World instead. I can only hope that filters back into Train Sim Classic at some point. Because we already got the route to Dover through Faversham as an extension to the old Faversham route. And let's just say I want to see the other path to Dover in Train Sim Classic now. I really do. It was not my original... the path through Ashford was one I didn't mention yesterday, but it is one of the ones that I... Actually, maybe I did. I think I did mention Ashford yesterday, now that I think about it. I'll have to review the tape. Call me on if I didn't, but I have to review the tape for that. I think I mentioned Ashford yesterday as one of my ideas. If I did, then I literally just called their new route without even realizing it. That is actually kind of funny if I did that. That is hilariously funny. So I somehow accidentally talked about two of their routes without even realizing it. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I am apparently a medium. Or a psychic, whatever you want to call it. Medium is talking to the dead. I'm not a medium. So I have started putting some brakes on here to slow down so that I don't overspeed through Lenzie. Actually, I need more brakes. I'm going to need heavier brakes here too coming in. Here we go. Take them off now. We have to open our doors in about 20 seconds. And I'm going to come to a stop now. I'm probably going to blow past the 3-car stop. Or maybe I won't even reach it. We'll find out. No, I might... No, nope, I must have passed it. In any case, we've arrived at Lenzie. Doors are open. Leaving Lenzie, our next stop is Croy. As you can see, we're picking up 180 points on each stop here. So I have 2 more stops to get the remaining 360 points, and that'll clear a perfect scenario in that case. So we are leaving Lenzie at 100 miles per hour. We are about 5 miles away from our stop at Croy, so I'm going to get ourselves up to full throttle so we can go ahead and maintain the time we need, because we are currently losing time. We're actually being given an ETA after our expected arrival. I can tell just by looking at the arrival times that these are random times. These are not specific times. When you look at a UK timetable and you see a scenario arrival time, you're not going to see 7:05, or sorry, 7:05, is that 5 or 6? 7:05:41. You're going to see 7:05 3/4, or 7:06, or 7:05 1/2. So in this case, if you assume every half minute is the time they go by on the timetable itself, and then quarters are just for actual arrival times. I don't know. I haven't actually studied that for detail. I've just looked at a few timetables and it's always been half. But if you assume that it's always half showing up on the timetables, then that would mean that the arrival time would actually be 7:06 exactly, not 7:05:41. So I can tell these are randomly generated times just from that alone. This is not based on a real timetable. So a little bit of fiction involved in this, I guess you could say. And as you can see, I'm losing a lot of time. So actually, no, take that back. I've gained time, 7:05:23. So yeah, I've actually gained time. Never mind, I lied. I do that sometimes. I don't intend to. I don't apologize for it. Well, actually I do. I'm Canadian, so I apologize for everything. I'm sorry about that. Insert rim shot. Moving along. So yeah, now that we know that the Ashford route is going into Train Sim World 3, I think we can conclude that the Ashford route is not coming into Train Sim Classic anytime soon. If it does, it might be at least a couple years away. And I'm sure at this point there will be an even more increased demand for it. So I guarantee you there's going to be some pressure being thrown at DTG to put it into Train Sim Classic as well. Especially from the I don't play Train Sim World, it's too arcadey crowd. Yes, that is a crowd that exists. So for right now, we have to assume that we're not getting the Ashford route. Though to be honest, the East Coastway going up to Ashford from Brighton would actually be a really nice route. That would be a nice one as well. It would give us the route through Hastings. It would give us Eastbourne. The only complication is, unless we date it to an earlier time where a connecting track existed, we would have to reverse into Eastbourne and then, or head to Eastbourne and then change ends and reverse out, heading in the other direction. I believe there are services that actually do that coming from Hastings. You just change ends and you head back out. They never did anything to, and again, it's probably because, it's probably because there were homes and everything built up in the area, so they couldn't really do anything about it by then. But they never actually bothered trying to straighten the track to a Eastbourne station where they didn't have to do a reversal. So maybe they just kept, I don't know what the reason is the Eastbourne is designed the way it is, but I'm sure it has to do with housing in the area. You saw the double yellow signal, by the way. There is a freight train here, which is interesting. We have now another yellow signal. I started braking, and it's a good thing I did because that's a single yellow signal. So our arrival time is not for some time, and that's a good thing because Croy is right there. So we're going to be waiting at a red signal, ladies and gentlemen. What is that train behind us, you might ask? I don't know. I didn't get to it. So I slowed down quite a bit here, which is really unfortunate. I did not want to slow down that much, but the irony is that the signal might be clear by the time we reach it. Since I have a moment, let's go ahead and take a look at what is blocking us up ahead. It is that train. That train. We're going to have probably a yellow signal up ahead now. And you can actually see it up ahead on the HUD. It is now a yellow signal. So I am now speeding up for the entrance into Croy. We have a full minute and a half, well, actually now about a minute to make our stop. We're only going 33 miles per hour. So at this point, it will take us the entire minute to go the distance we need to go. So I'm adding a little speed so we have time to actually stop. There's our yellow signal. It's now a double yellow signal. I just noticed my caps lock was on, so I just turned that off. Whoops. .40 should be enough. I'm going to actually come in to about 1/10 of a mile away, and then I'll start slowing down. Alright, here we go. Brakes. And now we're going to go ahead and screech to a halt here at Croy, because we are now going to be slightly behind the mark here. So let's get those doors open quickly so we don't lose too much time and get marked as late. Here we go with our arrival at Croy. Doors are now open. Edinburgh fast ahead is lacking power, go easy. Okay. Leaving Croy, our next and final stop will be Larbert. And we are being told to go easy, which explains our long time plan to get to Larbert. Granted, the track speed is going to slow down anyway, I believe, up there when you get off the main line. So we're probably going to have to go slower by then anyway. So we're going to have to watch ourselves, because I do not know the speeds on these junctions. We now have a green signal, which is very nice for me. So I supposedly can go line speed, but we've been told that we have to go easy. So we're going to watch for another yellow signal up ahead. If we do pass it as a yellow signal that we know we're catching up to that train, we need to slow down. Or at least maintain speed at the very worst. In this case, it would be slow down. Though we can maintain until we see a single yellow signal, then we have to consider slowing down. So I'll probably play it like that. So I've reduced the throttle a bit to see what happens at this yellow signal. We are indeed going fast enough to catch the train that's now lacking power, so we're going to go ahead and just keep going at our slower speed. So we're staying at 55 for right now. I'm going to see if I still have a double yellow signal up ahead. If not, I'm definitely going to have to cut it back. Quite a bit at that point. That looks like a single yellow. That definitively looks like a single yellow. Maybe... No, it's a double yellow. We're fine. It's a double yellow. Never mind. Looks can be deceiving. I thought it was a single yellow. Either way, we may have managed to get our speed low enough that we should be able to keep going anyway should we need to. So that will hopefully work out in our favor. Again, we're going to be stop following this train at the Green Hill junctions. Notice I said junctions with the plural, because we're going to go by the upper Green Hill junction, and then at that point we're free to go at speed we need to on the lower Green Hill junction. Because we're still in double yellow territory, I'm going to go ahead and just maintain 50 for right now. This seems to be a good speed. So I'm going to maintain around the 50 zone. A single yellow will tell me that we have to slow it down. Now, interestingly, we seem to be losing time on our ETA. We're now showing the exact arrival time we need to. So it's starting to make me think the train may have cleared us up ahead. Though we still have a yellow signal. That's a single yellow. I have a feeling it might be a junction signal, because if you look on the map up here... Oh no, we're still following that train. Oh boy. Never mind. It has lost even more power. I now see that. Keeping an eye on the signals up ahead. I've zoomed in for your pleasure. And mine. It is yellow, so we're going to keep going for the time being. I did gain some ETA back when I was going in that little fast segment there as well, so we're we're going to cut the view back here to full cab view. We're going to see if we get an increase to the yellow, to a double yellow. Nope, single yellow. Now, the next signal probably will be clear by the time we, yellow by the time we get to it, but you never know. You never know. These look like some fairly lengthy signal blocks, so we have to keep that in mind. Once again, we have a yellow signal, so we're still good to keep going. I believe this is the line from Cumbernauld that's now going under us. If we look over, that's kind of a closer view than I want, but you saw the railroad track below us. So that is the train track that goes towards Cumbernauld. That means the Green Hill Junction is indeed coming up. So while we have a yellow signal here, this is not our transfer signal, so we're going to just keep going for the time being. And now it's a flashing. That means that the junction is now set for us. I don't see a speed limit, so I'm a little concerned about how fast we're actually going to be allowed to go. And we seem to be showing us being a little early now, so I'm going to kind of hold it back around 40 for the time being. 70 is up ahead, but I'm going to keep ourselves at 40 for the time being just to make sure what the junction speed actually is. I believe it's a 40, but I don't have any sign indicating otherwise. So this would be a case of something where Thompson could have been nice to add that to the junction to tell us what speed to head towards Larbert at. But they didn't. This also is the last signal before the 70 board, so maybe 70 is the junction speed. That is also a possibility. Thank you. We're good. I'm going to stay at 40 for now anyway because I don't want to take that chance. I could always regain speed in another speed zone. Regain time, rather. So that is a siding. That is not the track we're going to be leaving at. That is a siding. Yeah, we are losing time now. I hope I don't regret this. I hope I do not regret this. Whoops. There we go. We have the whole minute to make the stop anyway, so we should be okay. There's a 70. Or rather, we're now under the 70 speed limit. And I'm just going to make sure the junction speed is clear. We do have a green signal. We can go at line speed now. I just want to make sure that our speed is 70 as we take this junction. You can see a train over there. It looks like a freight train. There's a service coming in, Perth to Glasgow. So there you go. Also, something I noticed when I looked at the map earlier, there was actually a service marked as going to Springburn, heading towards the... I'm gaining speed, so I'll just let it be now. I saw a service heading to Glasgow Queen Street that claimed to be going to Springburn. I think that's an error. Unless trains actually reversed from Glasgow Queen to go to Springburn, and I don't know about that, I think that's otherwise an error. I don't think that's normal behavior. So I'm going to assume the train marked as going to Springburn should not have been on the track going to Glasgow Queen. Just a funny little error that I noticed, and I felt like pointing that out. Because why not? So should Rose and Gareth ever update this scenario, you may want to relabel that train. You may want to relabel that. We are continuing to gain speed here, and it looks like we're not on any kind of junction speed, so I'm just kind of letting the speed gain on its own. We have a 60 coming up. I'm going to go ahead and just get ourselves up to 60 a little quicker, because we can use the brakes here to maintain speed. We are going to have a 50 up ahead as well. We are starting to get close to Larbert. So I kind of want to get some of our time back. I'm gaining a little of that time back now. We're going to gain even more when we get to the 60. So now I have to actually maintain a small brake application here and there. Yeah, it's going to be almost impossible to maintain this on this version of the train. I don't know if the Armstrong Powerhouse version of the train is better, but we'll find out sometime when I install it. What I do know is that the Armstrong Powerhouse version will not replace this particular model. I think it'll install as a new model, and you'll get the same skin, but a new model of it. So I'm gonna have to keep that in mind as well. If I ever want to use the Armstrong Powerhouse version of a train in one of these scenarios, I'm gonna have to swap it in. The downhill continues here, so we're gonna have to keep manning our brakes here. 60 is now our speed limit. 50 is coming up as our speed limit. We have put our ETA back under the arrival time. I'm just doing a slow decrease in speed here. 50, it looks like our speed going into Larbert. There's a 5 after Larbert, so it looks like there's a path set for a siding behind Larbert, which doesn't have anything to do with us. We're not going there. Oh. Keep our speed slightly under that 50 so we don't exceed. I believe that's the line to Falkirk, Grahamston, and to Camelon. And yeah, we are being directed into a buffer here after the station, so yeah. I think what's going to happen is someone else is going to take over the train because we don't have any other stops after this. This is our last stop, as you can see. We're now in a 70 zone, which is interesting. So we could speed up here. We probably should speed up here if we want to make sure we make our career timing. But we might be okay. We're only 3/4 of a mile away. We have at least a minute. And we're almost going 60, so we should be able to do this. Okay, keep our speed going until we're about at where we are until we're about 1/2 of a mile away, and then I'll start screeching. I think we're on a, oh, look at this. Nice little viaduct here. I set the train to a coast setting, hence the lowering in the engine right now. That was an interesting patch of sunlight suddenly appearing. Let's start braking. Thank you. Then coasting just a little more so the whole train gets on the platform, then we'll bring it to a stop. Just on time as well is when we're going to do that. So stopping right now. Brakes. Doors are open right on the second at Larbert, platform number 2. Let's look at the train as this Stirling to Edinburgh comes in and we finish our scenario. Not exactly the view I had in mind as I was coming in, but we'll take it. We get to see another train going by as we finish. So that's my first Rose and Gareth scenario, and I like the effort of... we can see the door open. Perfect. Wrong platform. Apparently it doesn't open on this platform. In any case, we can see the effort that they put in on the scenarios, and I like it. I'm going to be trying to do more of their scenarios in the future as well, because they have a large collection, and they are making them for the community. It makes sense for me to play some of them. So, especially the Snacktime career packs I've seen on the UKTS. They're not career, they're just Snacktime packs on the UK Train Sim as well. Your next duty takes you back to Glasgow. Well done. How did you score? As you can see, I intentionally hid that, as I always do. We're going to stay here for a moment and watch this train take off. Any predictions? Should have 1,000 points, right? I stopped right on the button, so I should be okay. There he goes. So let's take a look at our scoring screen. A little bit of unusual echoing of sound there. The sound carried over from the train leaving the station, so we get to hear that as we come in the menu this time. It says, now you can see something I want to show you on the way these custom scenarios work. These are not official scenarios, so you still score your 1,000 points, but the 0 XP being gained is normal. 0 XP gain is normal for this type of scenario. So you're not going to actually be able to build your career score from these kind of scenarios. A lot of people already know that, so I don't need to really talk about that, but for those of you that don't, now you know. So anytime I do any career scenario like this that is made by someone else, don't expect to see a score showing up as experience. Don't expect me to be able to gain experience from it. That can only be done from official scenarios or on scenarios that have the codes as their folders for those official scenarios. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge. Okay, yeah, you know I've been doing that because I've been fixing some scenarios. So yeah, that's something I've been doing. In any case, yeah. The 1,000 points, no issues. We start with our 100. You can see we only gained 900 because we started with 100, and we got a perfect score. It was our first time at Larbert as well, so I hope you enjoyed the trip into Larbert today. Having already seen the Class 66 scenarios, I can tell you we are going to see that on at least one, I think 2 of the Class 66 scenarios as well. I think we're going to see Edinburgh itself on one of those scenarios too, but I don't think we're going to actually get to go all the way to Glasgow on any of those, which is okay because it's kind of blah, slow area, so I'm okay with that. But we are going to get to see Larbert again, for sure, at least twice, I believe, because we're going to get to do some shunting in that 5 mile per hour section, and trust me, driving at 5 miles per hour in any train is an absolute headache. I don't recommend it if you can avoid it. Not fun. That yard should be at least 10. Come on, guys, that should be a 10 yard. 5 is just ridiculous, but you know what? Maybe there are people who crashed at 10 before. I don't know. In any case, yeah. Next time, probably the 158. That's going to take us to the Riviera line where those 3 scenarios take place. I'll see you for that, assuming that's what I do. And stay tuned for more on this playlist as well. It will be coming up in the very near future because I do want to get to the Class 66, and the Freightliner, I believe, introduces on this route. So, I know there are scenarios on East Coast Main Line and the Great Western Main Line that exist on that as well. I want to see if I can look into those and get more 66 action on those as well. Is it 66? No, it might not be for 66, but I know some other trains do have scenarios on those routes as well. If the 66 does, I'll try and get you that as well. But I know the 158, an old 158 did do that, so I might look into the 158 scenarios. I'll figure it out. In any case, 158 next time, Riviera line. I'll see you for that. Make sure you have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever it is for you, your part of the world. I'll see you next time. Subscribe to the channel and like the video, and I'm saying things in the reverse order. I'll see you next time. I'm Cyclone. Bye-bye.